Hello, and welcome to my kitchen. My name is Mallory, and today on Recipes to Remember 1936, I will be making Gebhardt chili con carne. In my pot, I have 1 cup of diced onions and 1 tablespoon of avocado oil. I spent the weekend making videos and dicing onions, carrots, and celery to prepare for this week. We were supposed to have a huge weather event, and by the grace of God, South Carolina, or parts of South Carolina, were spared. I have added 1 pound of ground beef. I like to buy the market side Walmart 85.15 ground beef because it's organic. And it's $6.47 a pound, which isn't too bad. I'm just breaking it up here in my pot. I'm going to allow it to brown. I'm using a wooden spoon because I'm trying not to use the plastic utensils because y'all, one day I had a huge piece of plastic in my chili that had broken off the end of my meat chopper. So I'm using wooden utensils and silicone utensils as much as I can. And this particular wooden spoon came from Target, their Figment brand, and it is phenomenal. And I'm not putting them in the dishwasher like I put all the rest of them in the dishwasher. I'm trying to be better. That's not to say that if you know a better way, that you should do your way. I'm just trying to be me here. My husband said that this chili is greasy whenever I make it and don't drain out the grease. So what I do is take a wad of paper towel and run it around inside until I feel like it's dry, like I've gotten all the grease out. I know I'm losing a lot of flavor, but whenever you reheat a greasy, tomatoey chili, it just leaves a coating on your tongue that is unpleasant. And yes, we have some sensory and some texture issues, but just believe me whenever I say it's unpleasant, and soak this grease up with the paper towel so you don't have to experience that whenever you reheat it. I shake things a little too much sometimes. I see that. I'm going to fix it. I'm going to add a 29 ounce can of Hunt's tomato paste, tomato sauce. This recipe that I'm following specifically calls for Hunt's brand. I don't know what I'm doing with the camera, but I'm hitting it every time. And y'all, it's a blessing that my camera did not record my footage, my vocal footage, because I was gossiping. And the Lord is telling me to be more cognizant of what I'm saying. And I shouldn't have been on the phone while I was filming anyway, because I almost burnt my chili. Y'all don't want to know how many times I've had to restart this voiceover, but what you hear now is what you're going to hear. So this is my 29 ounce can of Hunt's tomato sauce. And what I'm going to do is take my little spoon. I was going to add the garlic, but I changed my mind. I'm going to take my little spoon and scrape the bottom to remove that fond that fond is flavor. As long as it's not black, it's a very dark brown. You can scrape it up and it adds flavor to your dish instead of adding that acrid, burnt flavor. And I can attest to it. I've had it already. There was no burnt flavor whatsoever. I kind of like this voiceover thing. I might try this again. Hopefully not because I have to, but on purpose next time. You see the bubbles in the pot? I'm going to turn my heat down because I don't want it splattering all over my stove. And again, I'm scraping the bottom to get all that fond up. And plus it makes cleanup easier. Scrape, scrape, scrape. Going to add about 2 teaspoons of garlic. And I really like that Great Value organic minced garlic because I cannot be bothered to peel real garlic and mince it myself. And I say that in jest. I would do it if I had to. I just don't want to. I'm saying something real funny and real cute here, but only the Lord knows what it is. So now I'm adding, I think, yes, 1 teaspoon of cumin. And cumin is a spice that I really didn't understand and didn't like for a long time, until I realized that it was the flavor in hummus that I craved. So I am a lover of cumin now. And this is my Gebhardt chili powder that I will add 1 tablespoon. And again, this is available on Amazon, and it has a recipe on the bottle for this chili. And my big old tablespoon, I get it stuck in the bottle and had to pry it out. But I was terrified I was going to make a mess, and I didn't. That's a good day. And 1 teaspoon of salt. And I really like that Redmond real salt that you always see me using. This YouTuber named Becky on Acre Homestead uses it, and she got me using it. Not that I know her personally, but I just really like that salt. And it's mined in Utah in the United States. So it's a made in the USA product, and that's my alarm to clean for 15 minutes. That's another teaspoon of cumin that I forgot to add. So that is a total of 2 teaspoons of cumin. Now I'm going to stir it all up and then let the flavors marry and become well acquainted, as Mimi's recipes would say. I'm just scraping all the onions off the side of the pot as much as I can. And the lid goes on. And I'm going to let this simmer while I do other things. So now, of all things, my husband wanted Jiffy cornbread. I cook and I cook all the time because I love cooking, and he wants boxed cornbread. I was a little done with him, but if I'm being honest, Jiffy cornbread is my favorite cornbread to have with this chili, because the little bit of sweetness just adds something to it. You know what I mean? So I'm just preparing this Jiffy cornbread in one of my treasured Pyrex bowls that I got off Facebook Marketplace. I added 1/3 of a cup of milk and 1 egg, and that's all it calls for. I'm going to stir it up, and y'all, I actually thought about using a smaller bowl. I'm glad I didn't, because I nearly spilled this all over the table. Whenever I was a little girl, my mama would let me make the cornbread, and she would make me she would have me let the cornbread sit for about 15 minutes to do its thing, she said. I don't know what she was talking about. But anyway, I let it sit for a couple minutes. It tells you to let it sit. So I did. I did a good job. But I think I get 6 cornbread muffins out of this. Can y'all tell I love kitchen gadgets? I have all of them. That's my OXO ice cream / giant cookie scoop / muffin scoop. I was concerned that I was overfilling these a little bit, but it did say 2/3 full, and I'm somewhere around in that area. And they cook up really good. Like, they have a nice dome on them, like I like for them to. And it perfectly makes 6 cornbread muffins. And these are going to bake in a 400-degree oven for 15 to 20 minutes. And I know I'm really bad about telling y'all how long something needs to cook for. I'm working on it. The next thing you'll see is everything on the prep table. Dinner is served. I want to thank you for joining me in my kitchen today. I want to thank everyone who has commented, liked, and subscribed over the last however many months I've been doing this. This has been a wonderful journey, and I look forward to continuing it. I'm serving up 2 generous bowls of chili, and my cornbread muffins didn't turn out quite how I wanted them to. The cornbread peels off with the paper. So if you know how to prevent that, let me know. Anyway, I'd like to thank Miss Rhonda, Miss Paula, Miss Gina for all the sweet comments. Thank you for commenting every week. Thank you for watching every week. Thank you for looking forward to my videos. I hope you've enjoyed this voiceover. I can't remember anything that I've said at this point, so it's a surprise to me. Anyway, I'd like to give a shout out to my sister, my niece, my 2 nephews, and my brother-in-law for watching my videos. I appreciate y'all so much. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.